This is a Girl Scout celebration in Whitman and Hanson today. We're at the Spellman Center where they're celebrating World Thinking Day. Mary Ann, can you tell me what World Thinking Day is all about?
Sure. Over 100 years ago, a group of girls got together and started this organization called the Girl Guides. That morphed into the Girl Scouts, and now there's a world association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts of over 10 million members in 150 countries. This is a celebration that is enjoyed all over the world.
Okay, and World Thinking Day, a little bit more specifically, is?
So World Thinking Day is one date where all girls around the world who are Girl Scouts or Girl Guides celebrate their community.
Okay, we have some wonderful displays behind us, but first, let's go to the opening ceremonies, and then we'll take a look at the displays the girls have.
Welcome to World Thinking Day. I'm so happy to see you all. Before we do the promise and the law and the Pledge of Allegiance, we have Ramona here who's going to tell you a little bit more about what World Thinking Day is.
Welcome to World Thinking Day 2019. Do you know how it all started? Let me give you a clue. It began with girls who took the lead and demanded something for themselves. 110 years ago, a group of girls visited a Boy Scout rally at Crystal Palace in London. They asked Lord Baden-Powell to create something for girls. They were the early champions of a girl-led organization which has become a global girl guiding and Girl Scouting movement with 10 million members in 150 countries. We dedicate World Thinking Day 2019 to those girls. We want to celebrate the first leaders and all Girl Guides and Girl Scouts who found a space to practice leadership in the movement. When you explore what it means to be a leader, you realize everything we do in Girl Guiding and Girl Scouting is growing leadership.
Thank you, Ramona. So this year, the theme of World Thinking Day is leadership. Okay, leaders. You know leaders really well. You know all of these grown-ups in the room that have made today happen. Some of them are technically called your leaders. Some of them are your parents. But all of them have led you here to this point. So, as Ramona said, World Thinking Day is celebrated worldwide within 150 countries with 10 million Girl Scouts and Girl Guides around this world. 10 million. And you are all part of that group. So there's a couple of things we're highlighting today with leadership. Number one is not everybody is already a leader. You're developing your leadership skills. So am I. So we have some activities to go along with that. And at the table with the green tablecloth in the back, there are some coloring pages that we always have if you have some extra time. But there's also just some paper and instruction for you to write down what you think some of your strengths are and some things you want to develop in you being a leader within Girl Scouts and in your community. Okay, so that's one of the activities. Another of the highlights this year is about flags. So you see some extra flags, and a lot of you worked on flags within your group. Okay? So this is called the WAGS flag, World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. That's what you're all part of. And most of you have a little pin, right on your tab that looks like this. So that is the WAGS pin. All right, so on this flag, which is really interesting to me that a Girl Scout developed this flag in about 1930. A girl your age made the flag for the whole organization. And there's meanings behind all of the flags. So the white in the corner is for peace, okay? The gold is for the 3 pillars of the promise, which we're all going to say before we start. One is to serve God and your country. One is to help others. And the other is to live by the Girl Scout law. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's what that's all about. So, and then the symbol, as mentioned. Okay, so again, on that back table, or something you could think about doing today or in the future, is for you to develop your own flag. If you made a flag for you, what would be on your flag? What words, what pictures, what animals, what activities would be on your flag? That's another idea for World Thinking Day for this year. Okay? So we're going to do, as we do every time we meet as Girl Scouts, we're going to do the Girl Scout Law, the Girl Scout Promise, and then we have one little activity before we head off and travel around the world. Okay? So why don't you all stand? All right, and the girls who know this well, okay, can start with the Girl Scout Promise. On my honor, I will try to serve my country and help people at all times, and will live by the Girl Scout Law. I didn't have to say you girls didn't know it well. You all know it well. That's fantastic. How about the Girl Scout Law? I will do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong, responsible for what I say and do, respect myself and others, respect authority, use resources wisely, make the world a better place. Thank you, Sister Jessica. Terrific. Now stay standing because this is your activity. I've seen a lot of you do this outside of Girl Scouts, in school and with your friends. You're making up handshakes these days, right? You guys like making up handshakes with your friends? Guess what? That's one of the activities of World Thinking Day for this year specifically. They call it a handshake game. And I see you all do it all the time. So what I want you to do is to turn to a partner and make up a handshake. Can you tell me about what you did to prepare for World Thinking Day?
Well, we first we researched at the Whitman Public Library, and when the next meeting we had, we we decorated our facts and put them onto our board, and then we decorated it, and then we presented it.
Excellent. Can you tell me what country you are representing and maybe something that you learned about the country?
We are representing the Bahamas, and one of the things that really surprised my troops was that the Bahamas was ruled by the English, or like the British, before it became a free country.
Excellent. Do you want to tell us what activity you're doing and why?
We're doing a pineapple ring toss because pineapples are a very important fruit in the Bahamas.
Could you tell us a little bit about what you did in preparation for World Thinking Day?
Well, it was kind of tricky, but in the end, it was all very easy because we got a lot of facts done, and it was very easy to research everything.
Okay. And what country are you representing? What did you research? What did you learn about it? Tell us about your country.
I am representing Madagascar, and it's an island off of the coast of Africa. I learned a lot that it has weird animals like tenrecs and a very small chameleon. I think it's called the Parsons chameleon. Yeah. And they have chameleons, and yeah.
Excellent. Good. Thank you.
Here's a spoon right here. You're going to turn your around 3 times. You ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, down on your knees. All right, follow their voices. Say wonderful.
So we're here at World Thinking Day. Could you tell me a little bit more about the country that you researched and what you learned about it?
Cameroon is in Africa, and one of the fun facts, they have a waterfall there, and it was in the movie Legend of Tarzan. It was used for filming there.
Excellent. So what do you have for swaps or stamps, or can you tell us a little more about what you learned? All right, tell us about this.
It's an alligator, and since there's something about cotton that goes on there, we put cotton on them. So yeah, it's a little bit of what we're doing.
That's great. There must be a lot of interesting animals in Cameroon.
Yeah, like if you look, it says animals. There's an African golden cat and a leatherback turtle, stuff like that.
Thank you so much. Could you tell us about the country that your girls researched and maybe some of the activities you did that they could learn about for this day?
Yep, we're doing the Dominican Republic, and actually one of our other troop leaders had been there, so that was part of the reason why we picked that one. So she had pictures from there, and we went to the library, and we did some of the research on, the name, the island that the country is on, and the foods. We made Dominican cornbread, which I like. Not everybody did, but I liked it. And, we went over different things about each girl had an assignment. And so they just got one fact, because they're first graders, so they're young, but they got the one fact, and then they made the trifold over here. And yeah, they liked it. They did really well. Yeah.
So Naya, what have you explored today here at World Thinking Day?
I explored a lot. My favorite is Turkey because I like the name of it. It's fun.
And tell me something you learned at about one of the countries while here today?
That Madagascar, it's, there's lemur things. I forget their name. I think it's a lemur. I forget. Yeah, it's very cool. Yes.
And did you do any activities at any of the tables? Could you tell us one?
I was just at an activity. I forget the name. The activity could be kind of dangerous. So you're supposed to get blindfolded with the spoon, trying to get to a pan, and there's candy under, which I have some gum in my mouth from that.
All right, thank you for talking to us. Okay, could you tell me what country you learned about and something you learned about your country?
Chile, and we're making rain sticks, and you have to take a cart, like a roll, and then you have to put rice in it, and then put the top on, and you can decorate it.
Excellent. And can you tell me something that you learned in doing your research, or something interesting?
Popular sport is soccer, and they do a lot of swimming, and there's lots of mountains.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit about your troops or your experience with preparing for World Thinking Day and the country that you're representing?
So the country that we're representing is Turkey, and what happens when we have to set up for it is first we're given a category of something that we have to do, like languages or fun facts or anything like that, and we'll have to study something and we'll have to write that down. And then once we get all that stuff done and we have that paper, we'll get pictures and stuff as well, and we'll like put them down on the board. And for Turkey, I did fun facts and language, and they have a very odd language. And I found out some new things now, that Santa Claus originates there, and they have one of the biggest malls in the world, and they discover a new plant every 10 days.
So you're a traveler today, visiting all these countries. Can you tell me what your favorite country is? Or Turkey. Tell me about why Turkey is your favorite country, or what you saw over there.
Because my dad grew up in Turkey.
So what did you see over there that was interesting or familiar to you?
The Turkish flag.
And there's some other tables or activities that you did that you're enjoying this afternoon. Can you tell me something?
Germany.
And what did you like about the Germany table?
You have cousins in Germany, right? And they also gave out some delicious gummy bears.
Oh, I heard gummy bears are from Turkey. Gummy bears are from Germany. I heard that gummy bears are from Germany. So you got a gummy bear? Yep. Have you been playing some games or doing some activities today? What, can you tell me one of them?
The flamingo game.
What was it?
The flamingo game over there. The one over there.
Yeah, from the Bahamas. Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much for talking to us. Could you please tell me about the country that you researched for World Thinking Day and what you learned about it?
We are learning about Mongolia, and my job was to research school, and I learned that school is free in Mongolia, and that children didn't have a lot of good books, so they started to make their own.
Can you tell me what else you learned about Mongolia in general?
We learned that they do archery, and they like do it with their feet and stuff.
Could you tell me a little bit about your process in preparing the girls for World Thinking Day?
Absolutely. So we're very excited to do all the activities for World Thinking Day. We have a craft at our table, Worry Dolls. We made our swaps for coffee beans. We have our passport stickers ready. We learned about the flag, the Girl Scout traditions and traditions in Guatemala, the food in Guatemala, the music, and really the education and what children like to do there.
Excellent.
Yes, the girls had a blast. We love World Thinking Day. Thanks for having us.
So what are you holding here? Could you tell us a little bit about what you're holding and what you do with it on this day?
So this right here is a passport, and you go to each table, and they give you a stamp of their country. So like I have like Lebanon, Egypt, Spain, Brazil, Romania, and and then there's Argentina, Fiji, Kenya, Costa Rica, and I think that one's Scotland with the unicorn.
And so how long have you had this passport?
So for my kindergarten year, I had one, and then I lost that one. So this one I've had for 2 years. Probably this will be my third.
Excellent. So you keep the same passport and then you do your traveling each year.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us anything about World Thinking Day, some of the activities that are happening?
So basically each troop chooses 1 or 2 countries to do, and what they do is they because we have Turkey over here, they do like Girl Scouts in Turkey, like school, and like they give like swaps, and each swap is like part of like a symbol of their country, and what they have like activities too. So like some do games, some do like they like serve food, some do like coloring pages or crafts like that.
Could you show us what swap is at this table and what that's about? Could you get that for us? So what do you have here?
So this is a swap of Turkey, and right here it says World Thinking Day Turkey 2019, and it says the evil eye, and the evil eye is right here, and on the back it says it's to ward off like harm or bad luck in Turkey, and it's like a symbol that they use in Turkey to do that.
And what do you do with the swap as a Girl Scout?
You take it from each table, and it's like a symbol showing that you've been to that country, kind of. And you can put it on like your bag, or just like keep it in like your bag that you have for it. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is an example of about 3 or 4 years worth of swaps. So swaps are traded with Girl Scouts throughout the world. It's a Girl Scout tradition. So some of them are from this event, World Thinking Day, and represent different countries, and some are from other events. So traditionally, when a Girl Scout meets another Scout, they will have some swaps with them, and they will trade it with each other. It might represent they're part of the world, or a special occasion, or a season, and that's a Girl Scout tradition that we're keeping here at World Thinking Day. Julia, could you tell me a little bit about what country you're representing and what you learned about that country?
I'm representing Germany, and I learned about that Albert Einstein lives there, and where pretzels were made there, and we were sharing them with the girls by doing a little swap by this.
Excellent. Thank you for talking to us. Rachel, what country are you representing for World Thinking Day, and what did you learn about your country?
I'm representing Ecuador, and I learned that something called a food called potato patties.
Can you tell me about the activity that you're doing at your table to represent Ecuador?
The activity we're doing at our table to represent Ecuador are called bread babies, and you have to make these things on paper that look like people, and they represent people from different countries that are in your family, and they've died. Or you could just decorate it however you want.
Great. Thank you so much. Audrey, what country are you representing today, and what did you learn about your country?
We learned about Chad, and we learned about how they have to grind millet into sort of flour to make enough food. And we also learned that they do fencing, and they kind of have a Kentucky Derby, but instead of horses, they ride camels.
Audrey, could you tell me a little bit about Girl Scouting in Chad?
They have Girl Scout guides instead of Girl Scouts, and you go from Girl Scouts to Girl Scout guides. And Girl Scout guides have a little different rules, like they always have to be smiling, and they have to always tell the truth.
Terrific. Thank you so much. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the activities you've done here at World Thinking Day?
Well, I like going around and seeing all the countries and like what they eat and everything and how it's different from here and what games they play.
Have you played any games or done any activities?
I made a rain stick and I played hopscotch and I made flour out of some seeds from Chad. And that's it.
Well, Marianne, I just want to thank you for guiding us around this World Thinking Day exhibition today. It's been a great deal of fun.
Thank you for being here. We look forward to having you at more events.
And I look forward to seeing more events from the Girl Scouts as we go on.
Thank you so much.
That's all for World Thinking Day here at the Spellman Center. See you next time.